CBS News contributor Bob Schieffer is with us. He is our former chief Washington correspondent and formerly host of Face the Nation. Bob, good morning.
Hey.
So speak to this question about emails. I mean, she still hasn't, in a sense, cleared that issue up.
You know, I think she has to somehow or another stop these yes, but apologies, as it were. I mean, why doesn't she just say, look, I really made a mistake. I regret it. I would never put the nation's national security at risk. But to try to go through all these fine points and things.
It's the yes, but that continues the story.
Yes, but I think a short answer would be better than a long answer in this case. I mean, she made a mistake. She has said she made a mistake, and I think if she kind of would let it go at that, maybe it would put this to rest. I mean, it's not going to it's not going to bury it forever because Republicans are going to keep bringing it up.
But that's simple, Bob. Say, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I've learned. I move on.
That would be, I mean,
Seems really easy.
You know, I'm not here to advise campaigns on how to run their business. But I think short answers in this case would help her. She'd be better served.
She also failed to respond to Ed O'Keefe. I think I've seen the full conference she had there, although how limited it was. She failed to respond to the idea of having more press conferences, too. She sat there and smiled, but did not respond.
I think more press conferences would be good.
For her and for the press and everybody else.
I just think it's better for everybody.
Okay.
Well, word is that Donald Trump is going to reset his campaign today. He's in Detroit giving a speech on his economic agenda. But you've been talking to Republicans who are still very concerned. What concerns them most?
Well, I mean, first, he says he's... You know, the title of Donald Trump's speeches are not always what Donald Trump's speeches are about. I mean, he could announce he's going to talk about Galileo's telescope or something, and then a baby would cry, and we would. He has a way of topping his own stories. But I think in this case, we'll have to wait and see what he has to say. His advisors are desperately trying to get him back on track to talk about something other than some of these ad-lib remarks that he keeps getting deeper and deeper in trouble. And this is now beginning to be reflected in these polls.
Yeah, but what about this on the other side of the aisle? A new Washington Post ABC News poll shows Trump with 4-point lead among independent voters. Those are the voters that will help decide this election.
Yeah, and that is the one bright spot because every other thing in that poll seems to favor Hillary Clinton. I mean, she's just leading everywhere. You heard Major Garrett this morning talking about it's very, very close in Arizona. You know, how long has it been since a Democrat has carried Arizona? 1948, maybe? I mean, if
the land of John McCain and Barry Goldwater and others.
Yeah. So what's the GOP worried about?
Well,
as we sit here today,
they're worried about now, and I mean, this is very real. I spent a lot of time last week, toward the end of last week and over the weekend, talking to Republican kind of, quote, insiders, unquote. They're not so worried now about whether he's going to win or lose, but whether if he loses by a large enough margin in some of these key states that he takes down their Senate candidates. For example, Ohio, Michigan, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania. They're saying to me, look, if he wins by 8 or 10 points, it will take down the Republican incumbent.
If she wins by 8 or 10 points.
If she wins by 8 or 10 points and he loses by 8 or 10, it'll take down those Senate candidates with them. They are more worried now about losing the Senate now, I think, than they are about whether or not they win the White House because, I mean, they're really, really worried. Here's how serious it is. I had a former cabinet officer in a Republican administration tell me last week he was calling around and trying to get together a group to go talk to Trump, and not as an intervention, but to say it would be best for all concerned if you resigned from the ticket. Now, that's not going to happen.
No,
we know it's not going to happen. But the fact that people are talking that way just tells you how worried they are right now about this.
All right, Bob Schieffer, always good to see you at the table.
Thank you.